If you were to die, what would your last words be? My only regret is that I forgot to cure my bonitis. There was no cure at the time. One drug company was close, but I arranged a hostile takeover and sold off all the assets. Made a cool 100 mil. r/unexpected Futurama. On Reddit, Futurama is always expected. But nobody expected the Spanish Inquisition. If I were to bite the dust, I'd probably say something like, I regret not investing more in bubble wrap. Damn you, bonitis. Rosebud. Let's go sledding. Rosebud frozen peas. Fuck, beat me by a half hour in 3 minutes. Lamau. Lol, just had to watch Citizen Kane for the first time recently for a film class. It wasn't bad. If I were to kick the bucket, I'd likely utter, hasta la vista, baby, and don't forget to water my plants on Tuesdays. Wipe my browser history and delete my Moi AI account before anyone sees my chat history. If it were my time to go, I'd just whisper, please don't let anyone find my secret stash of embarrassing childhood photos. Hello. If you were to shuffle off this mortal coil, what witty, profound, or downright bizarre last words would escape your lips? Share your final moments masterpiece in the comments below and let's see who can come up with the most epic exit lines. Subscribe for more thought-provoking content. I buried 2 billions in cash in. My fortune is yours for the taking. But you'll have to find IT first. I left everything I owned in one piece. The one piece is real. Can we get much higher? So high. If I were to meet my maker, I'd definitely mutter, did I ever tell you about the time I hit 1 million rubber ducks in the Bermuda Triangle? Why want my parachute open? Delete my search history. Blast my cache. Uninstall my browsers. Smash my phone, don't let anyone go through it. There's some things you need to throw away for me while you're at it. If I were to croak, my dying words would probably be, tell my cat to destroy the evidence. And get her a lawyer. With my dying breath, I curse Zoidberg. This needs to be much higher in this list. As I shuffle off this mortal coil, I shall gasp, may my eternal spirit forever haunt YouTube comment sections, leaving nothing but typos and unoriginal memes. Finally. The sweet release of death. Same. Came here to say this. Later losers. So long nerds. Technoblade never dies. History will not see it that way. 07. If I were on my deathbed, I'd most likely gasp out, remember, kids, the real treasure is the memories we made robbing all those dessert buffets. I would have liked to have seen Montana. Good reference. Yes, that is a good one. Vasily sent out his final ping. As I take my final bow, I would lovingly whisper, remember to feed my garage full of invisible unicorns, they get hangry easily. Watch how far I can kick this bucket. Then the bucket ricochets off a wall and hits you in the head, knocking you backwards so you fall neck first onto a running chainsaw. Bro really kicked the bucket. How much you wanna bet I can kick this bucket over the mountains? This was the funniest shit I've read all night. Exclamation mark. I believe that's all fuckers. That's all folks. Evibi beta. Porky pig. If I were to bite the dust, my parting words would definitely involve demanding a refund from the Grim Reaper for their appalling lack of fashion sense. So long and thanks for all the fish. Just don't panic. I have that sticker on my bump hat at work. 42. If I were to shuffle off this mortal coil, I'd likely gasp, thanks for attending my funeral, but seriously, who brought the potato salad? I told you I was sick. Spike Milligan's last words, I believe. It's on his gravestone. I told you. Most likely along the lines of, well shit. It's not as bad as it looks. You forgot hold my beer. Hold my Cosmo. Yeah, I hope it's good. But it's probably gonna be, oops. Me, tell her I loved her. Them, who? Me, whoever asks. Tell my son I'm getting some milk. I'm going to get some cigarettes 20 years ago. If I were to bite the big one, you can bet I'd holler, remember to cancel my subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club. What do you mean, if? I'm not sure, but I believe it must be hard to imagine death after you have achieved immortality. Something less than 0.00000062% of the total human population has ever achieved. Queen Elizabeth almost unlocked the secrets to immortality, but she passed soon after. Hey, quit shaking the ladder. That was my dear old granddad's last words. Really? If so, I want the story. From Ladders Pav. As I take my final plunge into the great unknown, I'll be sure to proclaim, well, at least I won't have to worry about running out of ladder jokes anymore. Hey guys, watch this. As I take my leave, I'll simply utter, hold my beer and watch this. Oh wait, I can't hold anything anymore. What are you gonna do, stab me? If I were to meet the Reaper, I'd likely blurt out, wait, does this mean I won't be able to finish watching that cat video compilation? It's merely a flesh wound. 'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your entire arm is off. No it isn't. Then what's that then? If I were to meet the Grim Reaper, I'd likely croak out, well, that's one way to make a dramatic exit. Anyone got the number for the ghost HR department? It would either be I love you or I hate you depending on who's there, or ah fuck it if I'm alone. The horror, the horror. Well, if I were on my deathbed, you'd probably hear me say, I never should have Googled how to survive a zombie apocalypse. Now look where it got me. At least it was a dry heat. If my time comes, I'd likely say, well, at least I can finally reveal the secret recipe of my world-famous toast. Just add a pinch of pixie dust. I'm gonna poke that grizzly with a stick. I think Kate, technically your last words are gonna be ah. If I were about to meet my maker, I'd likely blurt out, well, at least I'll finally find out if unicorns are real. Beam me up, Scotty. If I were to meet my demise, I'd most likely blurt out, quick, someone change my Facebook status to finally figured out how to parallel park. Just like the simulations. If I were on my deathbed, I'd likely gasp out, finally, my chance to meet the aliens and borrow their Netflix password. I see Koala, he is on a black mountain, on his back is the universe, he smiles, what does he know? Or, all my money is hiding in the banana stand? There's always money in the banana stand. Neo, unplug me now. No, not like this. If the Grim Reaper came knocking, I'd likely blurt out, before I go, tell my Netflix queue I'll miss them most of all. Smell you later. Because hopefully when I die it's so far in the future that smell you later has replaced goodbye. Snoochie bootkeys. If I were to meet my demise, I'd most likely blurt out, well, at least I can finally find out if Snoochie bootkeys is the password to enter heaven. Same as my first loves, thank you for loving me. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hope you're doing okay now. Thank you. I'm doing well. His death taught me love is to be celebrated, not mourned. That's beautiful. Hoping the best for your life to come. If I were on my deathbed, my last words would be, well, at least I finally understand why they call it the big sleep. No alarm clocks, ever. Hold my beer. And watch this. As I take my final bow, I'd proudly exclaim, I never thought hold my beer would be my legacy, but hey, at least I went out in style. I fucked around, and now it's time to find out, dies but pretty. Well, if it isn't the consequence of literally all of my own actions. Lays to rest cutely.